I think President Biden's been the strongest American politician when it comes to support of Israel right now. Just look at what's going on in the House of Representatives, controlled by the Republicans. President Biden asked for $14 billion for the support of Israel back in October. They haven't brought that to a vote yet. You have Republicans right now saying that the only way they will support a border security bill is ostensibly if Israel surrenders to Hamas. On the other hand, President Biden has gone to Jerusalem. He has put his backing behind Netanyahu. Even in the United Nations, he has tamped down efforts to call for a ceasefire by the international community. He has stood behind Israel hand in hand. I think the American Jewish community understands who their real friend is in this situation. As you look at the weak-handed approach Republicans have taken to the situation, it's almost a slap in the face to our Israeli allies in the Jewish community in the United States of America, because they have said, we will not fund you unless you are willing to surrender.
Okay, Dan O'Donnell, come back to that.
Well, literally, most of that is just fundamentally not true. To characterize Republicans as saying that the Jews must surrender to Hamas is, quite frankly, one of the most insulting things I've ever heard. And unfortunately, the facts on this are wrong. The contingency on border security was Ukraine funding. It was not Middle East funding. In fact, reporting has just emerged within the last couple of days that President Biden has been secretly trying to get Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to agree to a ceasefire. Now, who do you suppose has wanted a ceasefire ever since the last ceasefire that they violated by committing a terror attack inside of Israel? No, not October 7th. Just a couple of weeks ago, there was a ceasefire that had fragilely held, but Israel wanted a permanent ceasefire in exchange for the release of all Israeli hostages. Hamas said no. Biden, and really he's being pushed, and I will agree with Robert, actually, that Biden has been stronger than I would expect the Democrat to be on the issue of Israel. He's been facing a whole lot of backlash in his speeches on this from protesters calling him Genocide Joe. But calling for a ceasefire and demanding that Israel agree to a ceasefire when that is exactly what its terrorist enemy wants, I would argue is not particularly strong on Israel.